Bonjour, bienvenue au French Tech Podcast. Welcome to the French Tech Podcast, recording here at the Asia Startup Summit. Great event co-organized by the French Chamber of Commerce and La French Tech Singapore. Very happy to welcome Sebastien de Jumpster, also part of La French Tech Singapore here. Welcome, Sebastien. Could I ask you to quickly introduce yourself and your company just to get started?
All right, my name is Sebastien de Peretti. I'm in Singapore for the last 2 years now, and I have founded Jumpster. So we are a business development company focusing on the specific verticals such as cybersecurity, IoT, and AI, big data. And the way we do things a bit differently with Jumpster is that, of course, first we help the companies to find customers here and find the traction. And once we have found significant traction, then we propose joint venture and co-investment with those companies.
Oh, that's really a fantastic model. Yeah. Just to unwrap that a little bit. So you help French companies that want to move into the Southeast Asia market?
Yes, that's true.
Right? And you focus on these verticals, which I think is a great approach, right?
Yes. So why do we focus on those verticals? First of all, is because those are the verticals that we feel comfortable with. I'm coming from a strong IoT background. My partners have both a cybersecurity background and big data AI backgrounds. So that's why.
Yeah.
And also because honestly, today in Singapore, and in the region, there is a very high demand for such solutions, and the local offer is still growing. So there is a very big gap to fill in those specific sectors.
That's really where the opportunities are,
Yes.
right? And there's really a lot of opportunities, especially like you implied, for foreign companies. French companies to come in and do business here.
Yes.
Since this gap still currently exists.
They are. I mean, if I take one example on cybersecurity, for instance, so the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, the CSA, has launched a call for innovation this year on 14 streams. So 14 different calls with up to 1 million Singapore dollar per stream, working on for 18 to 24 months. So that's typically examples where you see that you have a lot of opportunities. And why they are doing those calls for innovation? Because there is no solution readily available off the shelf on the market today in the region. So so you can see the opportunity here is quite obvious.
Yeah, so they're just massive opportunities.
Yeah, it's
up for grabs.
Yeah. And those big corporates. So it's big corporates. It's not the CSA is just organizing it, but behind you have most of the big corporates of Singapore.
Yeah.
And those companies are really open for innovation. So you can go and meet with them and discuss about the different opportunities. So. No, it's and it's just one example. I mean,
of course.
There are a lot of different examples on smart city and mobility. There have been several contests this year again. Yeah. So and that's just the innovation part. I mean, the demand for projects and the tendering part is also is also there.
So I think it's great. So you're very well positioned within these verticals. These are very much your areas of expertise. A lot of opportunities in these verticals.
Yeah.
So then you take companies on board, you help them here, right? You explore the market. And when they do get traction here, which you mentioned earlier, which I think is very interesting, I'd like to explore a little bit further, you help them get funding as well.
Yes. So basically we provide funding ourselves within those companies. So typically the idea is to take minority shareholding. So we keep the brand, we keep the control of the headquarters over the company, but we take skin in the game, if you like, so that we are not so much a consulting firm, but we are more entrepreneurs working for other entrepreneurs.
I think I'd like to really focus on that for just a little bit, because I think that's so important. That really sets you apart from some of your competition here within this market, I think, because having that skin in the game really makes all the difference, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't see the other people doing business development in Singapore as competition. Actually, it's funny you mentioned, because it's more of an ecosystem of people that are able actually to work together.
Yeah.
And I have already a few cases where we don't we didn't feel we were the right partner.
Right, and you sent them.
And I send them to other, and hopefully we will have it works the other way around. So
Well, I have to say, I think that's really the best way of working together, right? Yeah.
yes, because we can only help so many companies, and
Yeah.
honestly, the opportunities. I mean, we are not in a closed world at all here.
Yeah.
So the opportunities are far over and beyond the amount of companies we can ever help on our own here in Singapore and in the region. So
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
yeah.
Yeah.
So actually we can work with the Chamber of Commerce that
Absolutely.
they can do some market entry. We can we can come afterwards in a second phase, or so we are all working in an ecosystem way.
Yeah.
And I don't consider anyone as my competition, as for say.
I think that's a really good point, and I think that's especially true here in Singapore as the gateway to Southeast Asia. When you look at all of these opportunities, there's only so many you can take on as a company, as you mentioned.
That's
And there are so many to explore, and the ecosystem can only grow, right, if we all work together.
And the success, and obviously the main driver today is really to help the companies to really go for it and
Yeah.
show them that there is this strong opportunity for them in the region, and to warm their feet up. I would say.
Exactly. I think that's the right way of putting it.
So that's the biggest, I think the biggest challenge for us at the moment, and for everybody is to convince those companies that they have a slot here, and that there is an ecosystem of people to help them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And just to bring it back here to today, right? So we're filming this at the Asia Startup Summit.
Yep.
You're representing two companies
Yes,
here today?
Yeah. Typically, so I'm representing one company, and my colleague Géraldine Pellissier, also part of the French Tech, on the cybersecurity part, is representing another company. So Sense for myself, which is a technology for big data, time series technology, and Obvious Tech for Géraldine, which is a 3D hypervision platform for safe city. Just for you to give you a couple of examples.
Great examples of those.
Yeah, it's typically
verticals that you mentioned. Yeah.
Yes.
So what are some of your impressions here this day so far?
I mean, it was very valuable. I really enjoyed the contact I have made, and I had a few meetings, but in fact I think I could mix up with most of the companies that were interesting for me, because we had the breaks and the lunch and so on.
Yeah.
So at the end, I think it was very fruitful, very well organized, and the format was right. So I think it ought to continue in the future, because for us it brings for us, I mean, I would say startups willing to penetrate a new market here. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. So just if someone's listening to this, they're in France, and they have a company, a startup in one of these verticals that you're specialized in, how do they get in touch? What do they do to get started here in Singapore?
Well, they just can contact me. I'm available on the FrenchTech.sg website in the network of partners, obviously. So yeah, Jumpster is quite easy to contact, and then we'll have a discussion and on how we can technically help on both on their potential customers, but also, and that's an important point, on the ecosystem, or on the market access, the system integrators, the distributors maybe that are on the regional markets, because a lot of our customers are not. You don't sell directly to Changi Airport or to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Just to take two big examples. So you go through a network of partners, integrators that we know and that we can leverage. So that's also something that is important to really accelerate on this market.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much, Sebastien, for
Thank
taking
you,
the time.
Nikolai.
Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of this event.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.